So things you need and good things to have beforehand are your personal statement, and then I'll go over each of these things in a sec. But DAT, letters of rec, transcripts, and then shadowing experience. And you want to just be proactive about it. You don't need to freak out about it now if you're a freshman or do it, but just make sure that you're keeping on top of it, and it makes life a lot easier when you apply if you have these things just ready and set up and pre-made and ready to go, and people have already like helped you with it and looked over them, made sure everything's fine. So once you do sign up, that's what it looks like. It's just kind of a very generic application looking thing. This stuff is all super easy. It's just, name, parent's name, address, nothing to worry about. Then you do have to get some high school information, college information, and then you have to manually enter all your courses, which takes like 5 hours, and it's really a pain in the ass. But I'm not sure why they even make you do it, because
you can pay them. You can pay them to do it for you.
You could pay them, but
I don't know who does that, but
yeah. And it's like, they get your transcript anyway. I'm not sure why you have to do it, but you do. And then this is kind of how you follow what's going on, like when your evaluations get delivered, when your transcripts are there, when your payments are there, and then eventually, like if you get in or not. It will tell you there. So the personal statement. That's probably the thing you want to work on farthest in advance, because you want to have it done and not even worry about it once the app opens. We usually go and have a workshop on this, so I'm not even going to go super detailed about what it is, but it's 4,500 characters maximum, which is in reality not very long. It's like 3 pages, double space, something like that.
Yeah, about.
Yeah. It's pretty short, and that's actually one of the issues. Is it's tough to keep it short enough while still trying to say everything you want to say. And the pre-health advisement office is actually really helpful for this. If you call them or go and visit them, they're really cool about helping and reading your essay, telling you things you can add, and just being there to make sure it looks good. And like I said, we'll have Randy come by next semester when people are thinking again, and he does a really great job of having a workshop and talking to us more about what to put in it and the details of it. And the other cool and stressful one is letters of rec. So I don't know if any of you have already talked to people or professors about it, but generally you want, almost every dental school will require 3. Some require less, but generally you want to have 3 so you're covered for any of them. They'll want 2 from lecture-based science classes, so bio, chem, physics, or I suppose some other like upper division classes, but generally it has a lecture and it's a hard science and goes on your science GPA, it would count. And then a lot of schools need 1 from a dentist or someone you've shadowed in the dental field. So if you're shadowing someone, that often kind of coincides, and you can get them to write your letter, and it'll kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone. And the thing about that is you want to get started early. I know it's difficult to go and go talk to a professor in OChem where there's 400 people and everyone's trying to talk to them, but just go consistently to office hours, meet them, make sure they know your name, and when it comes time to ask, don't be afraid to ask. They know that hundreds of pre-med and pre-dental students are going to ask them for letters, so they're expecting it. They don't think it's rude unless you just show up randomly without ever talking to them. So at least just make sure they know you, make sure you make an effort to see them, and it'll always be fine. They'll always be okay with it. Sometimes they'll even let you write your own, which is sort of weird, but you know it's going to be good then. Yeah, question?
Do they accept letters from grad school?
Ooh. I think if it would be from a graduate science program, then yeah.
Like global health?
Dude, God, that's tough. You think so?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rebecca says
Like master's program.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like if they accept those letters.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that applies for the science courses, or?
Mhm.
Okay.
you might know this one.
What's the question?
For letters of rec, do they, would it count for a science letter if it's like a master's program? Like a master's science course?
Yeah, as long as it was a science course and like the course specifically designates that it's a science course, like it's like biological science or something like that.
Like FMS, Foundations of Medical Science.
Yeah, for sure that would count as a science course.
Yeah.
Will they take a letter from a teacher, like a non-USC teacher or like professor?
Yeah, if it was a science course at like another
Science course,
another college, yeah.
Yeah, like taken at another college during
Yeah.
summer.
Yeah.
So like out of USC.
Yeah. That would be good. And then another cool thing I wanted to talk about, most people just mail them or have their teachers mail them to the schools, which is fine, but I didn't want to do that because I wanted to at least, I like to control everything, make sure it's done. So if you let them mail it, you're not really sure if they mailed it, when it got there, like all sorts of factors. There's a service called Interfolio. It does cost money. It's not very expensive, like $10. And they'll keep your letters indefinitely, so you can have your professor submit to Interfolio, and it goes online. It's all online, and it stays on the website as a form, and you can't read it, so it's all confidential still. And then once the time comes, you just select it, and they will mail it to AdSAS for you. So it's very convenient. You know when it's sent. You know when it gets there. They're really good about telling you when letters got submitted to them, if things haven't been submitted. And I think it's a good resource, and I personally really am glad that I did it. But you don't have to, for sure. You want to talk about?
Sure. I just want to say something about letters of rec real quick. Depending on when you get your letters of rec, I didn't do it via the snail mail, I did it via email. So the AdSAS application allows you to send invites to all of your professors with their email, and they'll get a notification with a link to submit your letters online, and then they go there. So you have to wait till the application is open, obviously, because otherwise you can't generate the link. But once that's open, let's just say it opens on June 2nd, and you want to submit it on June 2nd, send them the link. They should already have the letter done, and they can submit it pretty easily.
Right.
That's what I did.
Okay. So then that's one of the reasons why I liked Interfolio, is because I didn't have to wait until the app opened for me to get the letter. Like, let's say it was a freshman professor, and you don't necessarily want them to like write the letter and then wait 2 years and then still keep up a relationship with them and make sure that you're still talking to them and they know you for the entire for 3 years. If they submit that letter to Interfolio freshman year, then you already have it, and as long as you keep paying Interfolio, it'll be there. And then once the app opens, you can submit it.
So 2 different ways to do it. Depending on your situation, you can make the best decision for yourself, but those are both avenues that you can take. Alright, so the infamous DAT. This test sucks. It's really not that bad, actually.
Better than
Yeah, it's definitely better than the MCAT. Just be happy that you chose dentistry and not medicine, because it's much better. Biggest piece of advice, take it when you feel ready, right? It's a final exam, basically, for all the science classes you've taken. General bio, chem, OChem, math, perceptual ability, and reading. And, it's a lot of information. You have to know all your stuff. You got to go in. You got to feel ready. If you take it and you don't do as well as you want, you have to wait 90 days in order to take it again. So your best bet is to study for it, grim and bear it, go in, do the best that you can, and then that's it. You're done with it. When you take the DAT, when you sign up for the DAT, they'll ask you which schools you're applying to. There's a bunch of schools. You can check them off. It doesn't cost any money to add any schools before you take the DAT. So
just
basically just add all the schools, because you never know where you're going to end up applying. It's free. Apply to all, whatever, however many there are. Even the Canadian ones, because you never know. No offense to Canada. Highly recommend taking over a break or during the summer. Obviously, you know your study habits. You know the way that you test the best. If you thrive in school and you need to take an exam while you're also in school, go ahead and do it. But during the break, during the summer, you get a little bit of a break. You have a little bit more time to make sure that you're ready. So yeah, if you forget to add schools, it costs money later to add them, so just check them all off. And relax, you'll kill it. You're more prepared, I promise, you're more prepared than a lot of people are. USC science classes prepare you pretty well.
I'll put it this way. As far as DDS goes, the people who have been comfortable enough with me, over the last 3 years, to share their scores with me, I haven't really talked to anyone in our club who's gotten below a 90th percentile in any of the categories. So, I mean, that goes to show, like, that our sciences are actually very challenging, and people who, you know, who have to study really hard to get good grades in science classes here just smoke everyone from across the country. But if you're doing well in classes at SC and you're competitive, then you will be totally fine on the DAT.
You will be fine. It's a long test though. I mean, it's a marathon test, but you will do fine. Okay, transcripts. So, how many of you guys started at SC when you were freshmen? And how many were transfers? Okay, I was a transfer too, so this was a particular pain for me. You have to get transcripts from all the schools that you've been to. I started at UCSB. They did not want to expedite my transcripts, so I had to drive all the way up there and get them in person so that I can make sure that I sent them via mail. Obviously, you can't open them or anything, but that was a pain. So get them early. That's long story short, right? Your transcripts, you got to send them to ADSAS. You only have to send one, so one goes to all of the dental schools that you're applying to. So if you started at USC, it's easy, right? You just go to the registrar or to them. Yeah, Nicole.
Does it look bad if you have a lot of transcripts? Just curious.
I don't.
No, I don't think so.
From different
They
schools.
shouldn't be able to judge you based on that.
But if you're worried about it, you can include, like, on your additional information sections that you have multiple transcripts because you wanted to, like, explore, like, it doesn't, like, necessarily mean that, like, you were a bad student and transferred from a different, like, ton of different schools, excuse me.
Yeah.
You can just say that, like, although one school wasn't the best for you,
Like,
you decided that the next school you went to was a much better environment for you.
Like, for example, in my case, I have Santa Monica Community College for
Mhm.
1 year.
Right.
And then I also have, like, Seaside for, like, Orville, and then, like,
Right.
USC. So,
Well,
like,
there's no really way to get around it, even if it was, because you're gonna have to submit every science class that you want to count, or will count for prereqs. You have to submit. So
and
I don't think it
it's-
would matter.
I think it's more school specific too, to your point. Like, I mean, in my additional comment section, I said that UC Santa Barbara was not the type of environment for a school that I was looking for, and so I transferred here, which is much more my style than Santa Barbara was. But I mean, you can say something, right? Like, just justify
defend
it.
it
It's
if
not a
you're worried
bad
about it.
thing. People go to a million different schools. Who cares?
Yeah.
And check the websites of the schools that you're applying to also, because like for example, I know for sure Columbia caps at a certain number of community college units, but if you're below those number of units, then it doesn't matter, you know. So check with the schools individually, because they may be a little different.
And the other thing, the rush delivery. If you're talking about the USC one, get them rush delivered. It costs money, but I ordered mine the first day I could, and I waited 3 weeks, nothing happened. So I walked in, got them rush delivered, and then in 2 days it showed up. So just don't even worry about the regular delivery, and just get rush delivery. Like, end of story.
Particularly if you have been to multiple schools. Okay, so
Wait, I have one more question.
yeah.
I know for the med process, they only submit their transcript to, like, that online program, whatever. Do we do that the same, or we have to send it to